Hi, I'm Zach Davis. I'm going to be presenting a project called Who Went Fishing? Inferences from Social Evaluations. And this is work done in conjunction with Kelsey Allen and Toby Gerstenberg. So the general thing that we're trying to capture in this project is this question of what can you infer from blame judgments? So as an example, imagine a soccer team that lost. Depending on who was blamed, you might infer different things about the game. So for example, if the striker was blamed for the loss, then you might infer that they missed an easy goal, versus if the goalie was blamed, then they might have let in one that they shouldn't have. So what we're going to be looking at is settings where a group fails to coordinate. So participants learned about fishermen that sell their fish to a truck that arrives at the end of the day. But unfortunately, sometimes fallen trees block that truck's route. And if they don't clear the trees out, then the truck can't get through and they can't sell the fish that they've gathered. So these fishermen have different characteristics. Specifically, they have different strengths. So depending on their strength, they can either gather some amount of fish in a day, or they can clear some number of trees. And since the fishermen split their earnings equally amongst them, they have to figure out who should be the ones that go fishing, who should be the ones that go to clear the trees. And that depends both on the number of trees that are down, as well as the strength of the fishermen. So this setting has been studied before by Allen et al. That we're really interested in how people assign blame in these situations. So given a situation where the group failed to coordinate, who do you blame? And what they found was two major components of blame judgments from people. The first one was rationality, which says that if a person acted unreasonably, if they should have known that they should go fishing, but in fact they went to clear the trees, then they're blamed highly. The other component was what they call pivotality. And that is a counterfactual notion that basically says, if I had acted differently, would we have had a different result? And to the extent to which that's true, people get blamed. So what we're interested in this project especially is in inference from blame. So how might you do that? How might you use blame information to draw inferences? Well, the general idea is that you're going to compare observed blame judgments against what you might expect in different situations. So take this example where A and B have strength of 1 and C has strength of 3, and they all go fishing. But unfortunately, you don't know how many trees were down. You have to infer that using the blame information. So the way that the inference process works is that you imagine different numbers of fallen trees and predict different amounts of blame for the agents. So for example, if there was one tree that was down, then you might expect A and B to be blamed highly and C to be blamed low because A and B should have known that one of the two of them needs to clear the trees and C can sell lots of fish. In contrast, if there were 3 trees that were down, you might expect A and B to be blamed very low because only C could actually go and clear the trees. So you would expect C to be blamed highly for not clearing the trees. So in this case, because A and B were blamed highly, you might infer that there was one tree that had fallen overnight. So we had participants do lots and lots of these tasks. They didn't only infer the number of trees that were down, they also inferred the strengths of different fishermen and also the choices that they made and combinations of those. So now let's talk about results. So what we find is that people are able to do this task. So even though all of the information is the same here, all of the choices, all of the unknowns, people were able to use the different blame values to infer different things about this situation. So that was pretty cool. I don't have a lot of time to get into this, but when the rationality and pivotality models conflict, like in this case, people seem to select more in line with the rationality model than they do with the pivotality model. I'd be happy to talk about that more if you want to talk at the poster. So in conclusion, what we find is that people are able to do this inference process of using blame information to draw judgments about what happened in the past, both about situational features, as well as characteristics of agents, as well as the choices that they made. Thank you very much, and I'd be happy to talk more at my poster.